With blind devotion to President Trump, Senator Lindsey Graham again proving himself as one of the president's most reliable frontmen.
Is this whistleblower, whoever he or she may be, do they have any connection to the intelligence community, the old intelligence community that was corrupt as hell?
Graham has fallen in line behind President Trump and become the face of Trump's defense on Capitol Hill.
To impeach any president over a phone call like this would be insane.
That stance a stunning about-face, given his position on impeachment during the Clinton years.
You don't even have to be convicted of a crime to lose your job in this constitutional republic. If this body determines that your conduct as a public official is clearly out of bounds in your role. Impeachment is about cleansing the office. Impeachment is about restoring honor and integrity to the office.
It hasn't always been this way. The Graham of today,
I have the president's back because I think this is a setup.
Is a far cry from the Graham of just a few years ago.
You know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
Known then for slamming Trump during the campaign.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party.
And at times going against him, even admitting he urged Senator McCain to turn over the controversial Steele dossier of Trump-Russia allegations to the FBI. But in the last year, Graham has strategically cozied up to the president. The two golf and speak on the phone often.
We have a man who has become a friend of mine. It's shocking, isn't it?
I like him and he likes him.
Graham has a lot to gain politically in hitching his wagon to Trump. The senator is up for re-election in South Carolina in 2020, where standing with the president only stands to help his own political future.
This president has basically refused to condemn Putin, knowing that Russia interfered with our election, undermined our democracy in the last presidential election, and really was setting up a way for Ukraine to undermine our elections by getting dirt on Biden so that he could be reelected.
I know people are listening. You think I'm dumb enough to say something like that, knowing everybody's
No,
listening?
but I think he's brazen enough. I think he's gotten away with enough that he does not believe that we can do anything to stop him. He has discovered the awesome powers of the presidency. The Constitution of the United States never anticipated that a president would use his powers this way. And he has learned that he can get away with it. He's brazen.
Do you believe that you have to have hearings that develop all of the different aspects of what led to that conversation? Because the conversation in itself arguably is or is not enough to meet the standard of impeachment, which is a very gross abuse of power. You know the standard, I don't have to tell you. But who knew, who helped in the State Department, who told you people in Congress the different stories about why the money wasn't being released? Giuliani's role, the AG's role. Don't you have to know all that first?
Well, I think that's a part of the impeachment proceedings that will go on. If you can recall, when in Clinton, there were hearings and that we had witnesses come in, we had people talk about various aspects of the accusations. That will be a part of what you do.
But you're saying you're ready to go now.
Oh, well, I think we will be ready to go very shortly because, as you know, the way the Speaker has talked about it, the 6 committees that have been doing the investigations will come together, and the Speaker has already said the latest revelations about the telephone conversation, the President with the President of Ukraine has caused us to be focused and understand that something has gone on here that absolutely rises to the level of possible impeachment.
CNN has confirmed that Kurt Volker, President Trump's Ukraine diplomat, who's mentioned in the whistleblower complaint, has now suddenly resigned. We're joined by the former Republican chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Rogers. He's a CNN national security commentator. Mike, thanks so much for joining us. So give me your quick reaction. How significant is this resignation? Is it another admission of some potential wrongdoing?
I would be cautious not to say it was an admission of wrongdoing other than, hey, this thing is getting messy. I've got other work to do. He was Volker was a former ambassador to NATO, so he has experience But getting under this much scrutiny certainly doesn't look good, I have to tell you that. I mean, it tells me that people are starting to distance themselves from what they fear is a coming investigation.
It'll be interesting to hear what he has to say about all of his communications with Rudy Giuliani as far as Ukraine is concerned.
This morning, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo arriving in Rome, all while questions continue to swirl about his role, if any, in the alleged cover-up of the president's July 25th call with the president of Ukraine. What we've learned in the last 24 hours is that Pompeo was actually on that call when President Trump pressured President Zelensky to investigate the Bidens. With me now is Democratic Congressman Dan Kildee of Michigan. He sits on the House Ways and Means Committee. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for being with me. I want you and everyone to just take a moment and listen to the most direct question that Mike Pompeo could have been asked about this. This was on September 22nd, ABC, Martha Raddatz. Watch this.
What do you know about those conversations?
So you just gave me a report about a high-seek whistleblower campaign, none of which I've seen.
Except he was on the call that the complaint was all about. So should Pompeo be subpoenaed?
Well, he may have to be. I mean, the president's duplicitous nature may be contagious because we're seeing it all around him. So he may need to be subpoenaed. What I hope, though, is that while there are these other questions that continue to arise around who knew what and when, we have in plain letters the president's admission to what I think is sufficient for us to move forward with the impeachment inquiry. I mean, right there by his own admission, he says that he enlisted the Ukrainian president to investigate a political opponent. To me, that's full stop. We have enough to move forward. There are other areas that obviously need to be subject to investigation. We can't just ignore those other facts. But I think the American people find that objectionable. The people that I talk to back here find it unpatriotic. And I think it's enough for us to move forward.